Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about invalidation. So, when we talk about invalidation, what essentially we are saying is that somebody is not able to understand us, somebody is not able to witness us, somebody is not able to listen to what we are saying, that essentially someone doesn't get us. And of course, there are some quote unquote negative ways of invalidating a person, of invalidating a person's experience. For example, somebody could have really been working hard towards something, and yet, if the goal was not accomplished, somebody can label them stupid, somebody can call them an idiot, somebody can tell them that I always knew that you're not good, that I always knew that this goal of yours would never be accomplished, or at least would never be accomplished by you. And that's invalidating the person's hard work and efforts. That's in a way telling them that you should not be doing any of those things that you aim or desire to do. Because towards the end of it, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, you know and I know that that goal will never be accomplished. That we all know that what you're striving for will never materialize. Which is a very obvious way of invalidating somebody or somebody's experience or somebody's efforts or somebody's intentions, somebody's motivations, somebody's dreams and ambitions. And in my understanding, that's a quite obvious one. And yet, can we say or can we do positive things that are equally invalidating? Exactly the way we have toxic positivity. In my understanding, positive invalidation acts like toxic positivity. And maybe positive invalidation is an outcome of toxic positivity as well. So how does positive invalidation work? And why do many of us, knowingly or unknowingly, mostly unfortunately, do that? So taking my own example, a few weeks back, I had met with an accident. Or let's just say that I was driving the car and the car met with an accident. And it scared me. The car that I was driving was hit by a big lorry. And the way the lorry had jammed in my car was such that neither could I move my car a little ahead, nor could I reverse it as well. It was just stuck with that lorry, with that huge truck. And of course, after a while, somehow or the other, we managed to disentangle the car and the lorry. And the manner in which that accident had happened had left me shaken up, had left me terrified, had shaken up my confidence and had left me feeling incompetent. To the extent that at that point in time, I was questioning if I should do anything at all, if I'm capable of doing anything at all. Should I even step out of the house, leave alone, driving somebody alongside me when I am the driver of the car? And because of that incident and the feelings that were arising within me, there was a point in time when I actually felt, and I shared that with somebody, wherein I had expressed that I feel like such a nalayak person. Essentially, I feel like I'm a worthless person. I feel like I'm the most incompetent person. And of course, with all of those overwhelming thoughts and feelings, I quite naturally also felt that I'm somebody who cannot be trusted, which of course in no way was helping me. And yet, as I shared this sentiment with this person, that I'm feeling like a nalayak person, that I'm feeling like a worthless person, or that I feel like an incompetent person, of course, like most well-wishers, this person told me, like most of us would do, that it was not your fault, so you cannot be called as an incompetent person. They even told me, like most of us would respond, that these things do happen, that everybody who's driven something or the other at some point in time or the other has met with an accident. And that it's okay, it's not a big deal so long as you are okay, so long as nothing's happened to you. In fact, the person also said that now you probably have become an even better driver. And of course, from their point of view, they were trying to help me. Unfortunately, that did not help me at all. Unfortunately, that angered me a little more. Unfortunately, that even saddened me a little more. For at that point in time, what I felt and what I interpreted was that you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. You're not attentively listening, and thereby you cannot see me and understand me the way I'm experiencing things right now. And in a way, you cannot have empathy for me, which is where I felt a little bit disconnected from this person. So after that, I called up somebody else. After that, I called up a much younger person. And I shared exactly the same thing in exactly the same words that I had shared with the first person. And quite surprisingly, the second person, again a well-wisher, responded in a much different way. So when I shared with this younger person that I feel like an unlike person, that I feel like a worthless person, that I feel that I'm incompetent, the second person just listened to me. And after I had vented myself out for 5 to 10 or even more minutes, this person asks me, do you feel like a nalayak person or are you a nalayak person? And that kind of slowed me down a bit. That kind of made me pause and think, pause and make me reflect. And I said that I feel like a nalayak, an incompetent person, but I know that I'm not. And in a way, it created a safe space between me and my feelings. It kind of also told me that my feeling that I'm nalayak at this point in time has a valid place. Of course, because of such a shocking experience. And yet my feelings don't define me as a person. They are an extension of me, they are a part of me, but they are not who I am. And then this person went on to ask me, what do you need right now? What would help you feel better right now? And there was only one word that came out of my mouth, was mama. And then this person asked me, why do you need your mama? And I just happened to say that I would feel safe if my mother was here with me right now. If my mother could just hold me right now like a little baby. If I could put my head on my mother's lap. I would just feel safe and secure. Exactly like the child who gets bullied but can come back home to an elderly who can help regulate their emotions, who can help regulate their neuromuscular system, who can help regulate their overwhelm. And even after weeks, as I once in a while reflect on that incident, it tells me a few things. That at times somebody who's much younger to us in years can also provide us with certain information, can lead us into directions, can be more attentive listeners, can empathize with us more effectively, for they were willing to listen to our emotional distress. It also told me that all of our feelings are valid, and yet we are not our feelings. That it's much better to say that I'm feeling angry, that I'm feeling sad, that I'm feeling guilty, that I'm feeling ashamed, that I'm feeling overwhelmed, that I'm feeling happy, that I'm feeling peaceful, rather than saying I am angry, I am frustrated, I am irritated, I am happy, I am sad, I am miserable, I am joyful. Rather than making our feelings our identity, we recognize that we are humans, that we are creatures who feel things, but we are not our feelings. Because once we do that to an extent, to a certain degree, it takes away its grip on us. It almost loosens its grip on us. It also told me that many a times it's our well-wishers, it's people who are very close to us. It's people who are a part of our inner circle that in some way or the other, in their attempt to soothe us, in their attempt to make us feel better, invalidate our experiences. And of course, they don't invalidate us deliberately. But what I've also understood is that many a times we do it as an automatic reaction because we ourselves are not comfortable with the overwhelming emotions that we feel. And in many ways, most of us, or almost all of us, must have had this experience when we were growing up. That when we got upset, somebody told us that we could not be upset, that things are not that bad. Or some of us might have even gotten punished for feeling angry or feeling upset. At times, we would have also experienced that when we were crying, some grown up would have told us, "Don't be a crybaby." Or somebody would have told us, "It's not that big a deal." Or somebody would have told us, "Don't be so dramatic." Or somebody would have told us, "Don't be an attention seeker." Or somebody would have told us that others or somebody else has much worse than us. Or somebody would have told us, "Oh, you're such a strong boy or a girl, and strong boys and girls don't cry." Or somebody would have told us, "What's there to cry about?" Or someone may have also told us, "You want to cry? I'll give you a better reason to cry." So of course from that, some of those are negative invalidators. And yet many a times we also get these positive invalidators as well. And many a times if we have invalidated somebody else's experience, which I'm sure which I've also done, many of us would have also done, is because we ourselves are in flight and fight response. We want to evade that discomfort, the discomfort that we feel within ourselves when somebody is sharing their hard experience with us. And if from our own childhood we've had these many invalidating, even positively invalidating experiences, unfortunately we do not develop the emotional vocabulary. Unfortunately, we do not develop effective communication skills, which includes both listening and speaking. Unfortunately, we do not have words even for our own emotions. And because we do not have that, unfortunately, we do not process emotions well. Unfortunately, we do not develop emotional intelligence. And quite naturally, we fail to trust our emotions. We fail to trust and express our own feelings. And that just doesn't happen on a personal level, that also happens on interpersonal levels as well. And like I had heard Dr. Gabor Mate in a few of his talks, when he was working in palliative care and when he was working with addicts, is that every human being is looking for connection. Is that every human being just wants to be heard, just wants to be seen, to be witnessed, and just wants to be understood. And like he had expressed in one of his statements, when he had asked a lady who was doing heroin as to what does heroin do for you? Why do you use it? And her reply to him was, it feels like a warm, tight, safe hug. So if at the end of it, what most of us are looking for is to be seen, is to be heard, is to be understood, is for real, meaningful, open, honest, authentic connections. In my understanding, we all need to become a little more aware of our own emotions. We all need to become a little more accepting about our own feelings and emotions. We all need to accept them, if not completely befriend them. We all need to understand that we are not our feelings, and yet all our feelings and our emotions are valid, which in my understanding would not only make us emotionally intelligent, but emotionally resilient as well. Because the more we run away from them, because the more we avoid them, the more they chase us, the more they haunt us. And the more we acknowledge them, the better vocabulary we have for communicating them. The better vocabulary we have for expressing our needs and wants. The better we get at trusting ourselves and others, even when we are faced with overwhelming feelings and emotions. So let's try and reflect as to where and in what situations have our experiences been invalidated. In what ways have we repressed and suppressed our emotions? And quite naturally, if we've done that, we've not allowed others to express theirs as well. In what ways have we negatively and positively invalidated somebody's experience? In what ways have we not held space for that? In what ways have we turned a blind eye and a deaf ear to that? In what ways was it done to us? Because only when it was done to us, do we do it to someone else as well? Let's try and think about all of those factors. Let's try and think about building our emotional intelligence and resilience. Let's try and do that for ourselves, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.